Hi BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to a video that I have been so excited about doing. This has been months in the making. I knew I wanted to do this video mainly because I wanted to do it because I thought it would be fun, and you guys really wanted me to do it. A lot of you have requested this, so this is for you guys as well as for me. And a huge shout out right here at the beginning to my very good friends Bree and Chloe. Bree is from Falling for Romance on Instagram, and Chloe is Always Booked here on YouTube. Links to both of those lovely ladies in the description box below, because they are the ones who came up with the brilliant title for this video. Welcome to the Ghosts of Harlequin's Past. So this is a bit of a play on words. Yes, this is coming out on Halloween. I knew that I wanted to do this video, and I thought Halloween would be the perfect day for this to go up. So you guys are getting a little bit of an extra video this week. Typically I don't post really anymore on Saturdays, but why not? So I just thought that this would be a ton of fun to put up on Halloween for the quote-unquote dead series from Harlequin. So a couple little things before I get into the video itself. So one, when I talk about series, and I really want you guys to understand, because I think a lot of people get very, very confused when I talk about series from Harlequin or category romance series. So there are two different types of series within category romance. There's the publisher series, and the publisher series is what I am talking about. So for example, I will just grab this book at random. Okay, so this one works. So this is part of the publisher series special edition. Used to be Silhouette, has now amalgamated into Harlequin, but this is a Harlequin special edition novel from their publisher's series. Now, there's a mini-series within this. So the mini-series for this is part of the Men in the West. So what I'm trying to explain is that these are numbered. So you guys, I don't think you'll be able to see this. I think it's 1923. There is a number just above my thumb right there. It's kind of blurry. You really can't see it. Let's pick something a little bit easier. That's not so... There we go. So let me show you. Come on. Focus. Probably because my face is... There we go. So that's what? 1908? So that is book number 1908 in the Harlequin Intrigue Publishers series. Now, it's not saying you have to start at number 1 to start reading this. This is also part of a mini-series by Julianne Lindsay called A Fortress Defense, is the mini-series within this series. So I really do hope I'm explaining that correctly, because I think a lot of people get confused on that. So publisher series is what you see here. I like to refer to it as their imprint. Now the thing is, if you go on the Harlequin website, gets confusing. That's why I'm trying to say these are series, because on the Harlequin website, if you click on the imprints area, it'll take you to Mira and HQN and Avon and Carina Press and all those wonderful other sub publishing houses, if you will, like publishing areas. That is the overall banner for Harlequin, which is also part of HarperCollins. But if you click on series, that's where you're going to find, you know, the Harlequin Heartwarmings, the Harlequin Intrigues, the Dare, you know, all the things that are currently being published. So I hope I'm not confusing anybody too much, but for the sake of argument, just because I just think it works better, I'm talking about imprints. So like an Intrigue, or a Desire, which is up there, or, you know, whoops, don't lose that. Harlequin Romance, Harlequin Special Edition, Harlequin Medical Romance, publisher series / imprints. Okay? Okay. So now that we are all on the same page, if you have any questions, guys, please pop them down below, because I am more than happy to try and explain it, because I think it does confuse a lot of people. So, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing, that in the description box below, I'm going to list all of the publisher series that I'm about to talk about. And with it, there is going to be links. Those links are going to take you guys to a fantastic website called fictiondatabase.com, fictiondb.com. And it will be to each of the individual publishers' series. So whatever series it is that I mention, it will take you to that page, and that website, in my opinion, is one of the best resources if you want to look to see what was number 1 in the Harlequin Intrigue series, what is the newest book in the Harlequin Intrigue series. It literally lists from book 1 to current, every single book published under this publisher series, and all of the other publisher series, and all of the ones that are no longer being published that I'm about to talk about. So keep that in mind. And the last thing I want to share is that I am actually going to be talking about both Harlequin and Silhouette. So Harlequin's been around forever. They originally published mostly books from Mills and Boon in the UK. They bought the exclusive rights way, way back when, I think it was in the 50s or 60s, to publish in North America these books that were being published by Mills and Boon. And then eventually they started publishing their own, using their own authors. And I'll get into that because one of these imprints is the one that was the catalyst for that. And there was, so that was under Harlequin. Simon & Schuster, way back when, realized how popular these were becoming and started their own sub-imprint called Silhouette. So Silhouette was part of Simon & Schuster for many, many, many years. And then I think it was in the early 90s, Harlequin actually bought Silhouette and took over a lot of their stuff, which is why now you're going to look at this old Silhouette. It says Silhouette up there. But this is also a special edition novel, now with the Harlequin banner. So, you know, at one point they did merge together and Silhouette was done with. So there are some Silhouette series here that I am going to share with you guys because, in my opinion, they're part and parcel of the same thing. They're all category romance. I just used the name Harlequin because I think it's the one that's most synonymous to everybody. If I put Silhouette, I don't think a lot of people know exactly what that is anymore because it's been gone for so long. So, anyway, this video is going to get long because I have 14 series to talk about. I'm going to try and keep them brief. Again, the links will be in the description box below. And what else did I want to say? This is in no way an extensive list. I'm sure there are more that I'm missing because there's one in here that I just found out about recently thanks to Bree. I didn't even know it was a thing. So, you know, again, not an extensive list, but these are the books that I personally have copies of and that I am familiar with. So, let's jump in and get started. I'm going to go alphabetically, just so you guys know. So the first one, Harlequin American Romance / Harlequin Western Romance, because it became the Western Romance line a few years before it eventually kicked the bucket. And this series went from April of 1983 to June of 2018. There were 1,696 titles published for the Harlequin American Romance line. So these took place in America. Pretty self-explanatory. They were pretty much stories that took place like in small towns or big cities, mostly small towns. If you currently enjoy reading the Harlequin Heartwarming line, this is the imprint that you need to pick up. You can find a lot of these on ebook. And of course, anything that I'm going to mention, you can probably hunt out the books on thriftbooks.com or on the Amazon Marketplace or on abebooks.com. I'll leave links to those, to thrift books and abooks below. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the Amazon Marketplace. So yeah, this was a great series. This one is one of my favorites. It was one of the first ones that I read, so it holds a special place in my heart, but I want to give it a reread. It's been many years. And it's Jackpot Baby by Muriel Jensen. And this is the first book in the Millionaire Montana series. So I think it was a series of 6 books that these 6 residents in this small town in Montana all hit like the super Powerball. And what ends up happening. It was really delightful. It was a really delightful little series within the American Romance series. So again, publisher series, mini-series. So yeah, these were really, really fun. I recommend them. And like I said, towards the end of their run, they became known as the Western Romance line. So if you look and see that banner across the top, it's part and parcel of the same thing. The next one, the series that I probably mourn more than anything else, and I say we start a petition because everybody I talk to says the same thing. Why this is gone, why they got rid of it, and we're all so upset about that. The Blaze series from Harlequin. So this ran from August of 2001 until June of 2017, published 945 titles. So if some of you are just finding this now, you got a lot of backtracking to do. There's a lot of backlist for this one. These were delightful. These did border. These were their spicier fare, if you will. And they but they had a lightness to them. This was eventually taken over. This one ended, and then they brought in the Dare line. Now, I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of the Dare line. I find they pushed the envelope a little too much. These were a little bit more fun and flirty, and that's why I think I liked them more, whereas the Dare books tended more towards the 50 Shades of Grey side. You know, they really, really pushed the envelope. These ones pushed the envelope a little bit, but, you know, these were still so much fun. And Jill Shalvis wrote a short story in this one. This is Jinxed. It's one of my favorites. Unfortunately, this particular volume I'm holding in my hand is not available on ebook. I had to hunt this out on Thrift Books, but this was a great little anthology of 3 little stories. They're not terribly long, by Jacqueline D'Alessandro, Jill Shalvis, and Crystal Green. Really, really good if you can get your hands on this one. The next series, again, another one that holds a very special place in my heart because this was my first. This was my first Harlequin that I ever read, and I'm so sad that it's gone. And the runtime on this series was not very long. So this is the Harlequin Duet series, and it ran from May of 1999 to September of 2003. The book I'm holding in my hands is actually the first Harlequin that I ever read. And this is Heaven Sent by Jacqueline Diamond and Shotgun Nanny by Nancy Warren. So these were a 2-in-1. Every single book contained 2 full-length novels. So these are not short, 2 full-length novels. This ran for 108 books, 108 physical books, or 216 individual titles. Now, some of the books were written by 2 different authors, and sometimes they had something to do with each other, sometimes they had nothing to do with each other. And there were some books that were written that were 2 stories by 1 author. Jill Shalvis does one, I have it up on my shelf, called Hug Me Holly and Kiss Me Kate. And they were both, I think it was 2 friends, so they kind of, you know, because stories are kind of go together, but you could have read them separately, but in one volume, you're probably going to read them together. These were so much fun. These are romantic comedies, and I really, really miss them. And yeah, again, this one holds a special place in my heart as the very first Harlequin that I ever did read. Next we have, this kind of took over for the Duets line when the Duets line ended. And this is the Harlequin Flipside. And they did not last very long. They were single titles, very, very similar to the Duets in the fact that it's a romantic comedy. These were geared, you know, towards maybe a slightly younger audience. Like, everybody's talking now about covers that are drawings, or covers that are, what's the word I'm looking for? Illustrated covers. Like, this has been done. Like, this is not a new thing. Illustrated covers are not a new thing. So I don't know what everybody's deal is with this, but clearly they're geared towards a younger audience. Not younger in the terms of YA, but I'm thinking people who are graduating from young adult to adult literature. And I think that's where a lot of these illustrated covers are coming from. But yeah, the Flipside, very similar to the Duets in the fact it's a romantic comedy. This series ran from October of 2003 to June of 2005, so not very long, 42 titles. These are fun, though. If you can get your hands on them, they're a little bit harder to find because there weren't as many of them, but this is fun. The next one, I really, really love this one, too. The Kiss line. This ran from February of 2013 to October of 2014. So, did I write that down right? Yeah, I did. So, a little over a year, only 84 titles were published. Again, fun, flirty, again, the same kind of age range, the early, and I'm not trying to generalize, but, you know, that maybe new adult, which I hate. It's not a genre, but I'm not using it in the terms of a genre. I'm using it in the terms of an age group. The new adult type group. This one is Secrets and Sorry by Shanoma Nariam. I'm sorry. This one was really delightful. Or it looks really delightful. I haven't read it yet. A secret that could cause a scandal. But these ones were really, really fun. There's a lot of really fun ones in this. They get a little spicy. Do keep that in mind. But they are still really a lot of fun. This is the series that I knew nothing about up until about 6 months ago when Brie told me about it. And I went and hunted out one. And this is the Harlequin Gothic Romance. You guys, look at that cover. It's great. So this series ran from July of 1983 to April of 1988, but only had 18 titles. These are hard to find. And if you do find them, you might be paying a bit more for them than you would on your average book. I had to pick one up because I'm really excited about it and I really want to try it. This would be in the vein of something like Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, or Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, like that kind of a Gothic-y, romantic, you know, spookier greatness. And I'm sad that, you know, I haven't even read this one yet, but I'm so thrilled that Bree found these and told me about them, because I am super, super stoked and I want to collect all of them. So, because as you guys can clearly tell, I am a collector of Harlequin. Next up, Love and Laughter. This, I believe, preceded, it came before the Duets line, because the Duets line started in May of 99, and this one ran from August of 96 to April of 99. So it's like this one ended and the Duets line started again. Fun, flirty, romantic comedy. You know, they tried 3 series in a row, and I guess none of them just seemed to catch, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it was. The one I have here is Mistletoe Mischief by Alyssa Dean. These were just so much fun. You know, they're campy, they're fun. If you've read, if you've read Jennifer Crusie and you like her work, this is kind of what I would think about it. So yeah, there were 66 titles published in total in this line, and they were a lot of fun. Next one that I have, now I talked briefly about at the beginning, about after, you know, when Harlequin originally started, they were publishing stuff from the UK. Then they started publishing under their own line. And that first line that was strictly geared, like that, not was geared towards, but that first, they started actually publishing authors who were from the US, as opposed to just reprinting authors or books that had come out from England. They were gathering at this point their own authors. And that series was the Harlequin Super Romance series. So this is one by Debbie Macomber, the great Debbie Macomber. And this is those Christmas Angels. Shirley, Goodness, and Mercy. I'm sure those of you who are Debbie Macomber fans will know what this is. This was the first one that I think featured these 3 angels. And this series was published from June of 1980. I was a little over a year old, until June of 2018. So what's that, 38 years? 38 years. 2,135 titles were published under this line, and I miss it. It was so good. It was another one of the firsts that I read. This one, the American Romance line, the Blaze line, the Duets line, those were like the ones that I will always remember as being like my first Harlequins. And these were really good. You know, small town, big city, very, very similar to the special edition line that is currently being published. So I'm thinking that's probably the reason why they got rid of the Super Romance and kept the special edition. That's my personal thought process. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, these were really, really good. I like them a lot. The next one, the Temptation line. If you like the Blaze line, you will love the Temptation line. Very, very similar. So I don't know, again, why they got rid of this one and then brought in Blaze, but these two, Blaze and Temptation, kind of crossed over each other for a number of years, because the Blaze line ended in 2017, and the Temptation line was published from March of 1984 to June of 2005. So they ended in 2005, and Blaze started in 2001. So there's about 4 years that they crossed over. The book I have here is actually the last Temptation book that was ever published, and it's actually called Her Last Temptation by Leslie Kelly, and it's a collector's edition. And this one was super, super fun, because a lot of the authors who wrote a lot of the books actually did like a little yearbook thing in the back. You know, I just think it was just so much fun. And yeah, these were really, yeah, the Temptation years, it says on the inside. So these were super fantastic, really enjoyable. Again, if you like the Blaze line, please, please go ahead and check out the Temptation line as well. Very, very similar. I mean, they are really, you know, a lot of the authors who wrote for this line went ahead and continued to write for Blaze. So yeah, these were great. And so far, pretty much everything that I've talked about, except for probably the Gothic line, you can find on ebook. And I'm sorry I haven't been mentioning that as I go. But yeah, most of them except for the Gothic books, you can find on ebook. The next one. Now we're going to get into the Silhouette books. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot one. No, I didn't. Sorry. Now we're going to get into the Silhouette books. I'm so organized, you guys. First one, the Silhouette Bombshell series. Oh my gosh, this one was so much fun. So this ran from July of 2004 to January of 2007. 24 titles. Sorry, I'm trying to read off my tablet here. The book I have here is What Stella Wants by Nancy Bartholomew. These were fantastic. These were bounty hunters. These were FBI special secret deep dark agents for, you know, agencies that don't actually exist, that nobody talks about, you know, that kind of thing. Strong, sexy, suspenseful, it says on the back. These were a delight. I really, really enjoyed them, and I'm sad to see them go. If you like the Janet Ivanovich series by Stephanie Plum, let me say that again. The Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich, you will like these. But these even get a little bit more. And these actually kind of did a whole wide range. Like in this one, I believe our main character, she's a private investigator. There were ones that were, like I said, these secret government agents. There were a few of them that really got into the more Gothic. There's one called, was it Something Wicked This Way Comes? No. Can't remember the title of it. I will pop a pic, no, because I can't remember the title of it. It was a witch one, but it dealt with these three sisters who were witches. So it had that very Gothic feel to it, but it was still like them fighting. It's essentially going after the bad guy. These are action adventure books published by Silhouette. So yeah, that's what I like to think these are. The next ones that I have are the Nocturne line. Now, these did later on say that they were published by Harlequin, but originally these were published by Silhouette. The one I have here is Witch's Fury by Deborah LeBlanc. The Nocturne series was published from October of 2006 to December of 2018, so these were around for quite a while. And anyone participating currently in the Paranormal Romance readathon that is going on, try and hunt some of these out, because some of these are really good. A lot of werewolves, a lot of witches, vampires, things that go bump in the night. It's not my personal jam. A lot of shifters as well. But I know a lot of you would probably enjoy these because there are a huge number of paranormal romance fans out there, so you might like these. There were 294 titles published within this series. So yeah, these were published for a while, and one of my favorite authors, Heather Graham, has actually published for this line as well. The Keepers, I think, is the series that she writes, and it's a vampire series. So if you're interested in checking out Heather Graham, maybe give that series a shot. There's actually a Christmas one that she did called Christmas in Salem, and it was 3 short stories. They were really, really fun. Next up, the Silhouette Romance series. So this is where Silhouette got their start, as I was talking about earlier, how, you know, they started to bring out their own category romance, and they, of course, started with a romance line. But, of course, once they were bought out by Harlequin within a few years, this went by the wayside, and they just kept the Harlequin Romance series. So the book I have here is A Tale of Love by Alice Sharp. It's part of the Perpetually Yours series that deals with, you know, cats and dogs. Super adorable. So this was published from May of 1980 until January of 2007. 1,849 titles were published in this line. They were really cute. I mean, these are super duper short. Something that most of us could probably finish in a couple of hours. Really enjoyable if you can get your hands on them. I really like them. And just a couple more, you guys. These ones, the last two I'm going to share, are pretty obscure. These are ones that you're not necessarily going to see at your thrift store. Most of the other ones you probably will, but these ones probably not. And these two, I got extremely lucky when I came across them at, one of them was at my local, both of them were at my local thrift stores, at my local thrift store. And this one, I literally went, eek, when I saw it in the store. Silhouette Shadows, you guys. Published from March of 1993 to July of 1996. So for only 3 years, 66 titles. The first book is The Last Cavalier by Heather Graham. So that's the pen name she used to go under, but now she just goes by Heather Graham. This has been republished. She has retained the rights to this novel and has republished it as an ebook with a completely different cover. But the Silhouette Shadows were very much a Gothic kind of feel, but not Gothic in the sense of being like that Victorian Gothic, but more dark but not quite supernatural. It was supernatural, but not really. I'm having a hard time explaining this, but I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. Like this one, I believe was about a woman who meets up with what she thinks is a actor in a Confederate like uniform, like he's putting on like that Civil War reenactment stuff, but it turns out like he's actually dead and it's his ghost. So that kind of thing. But yeah, these were really, this one is really good. I read it a number of years ago when I got it, but I'd like to do a reread of it at some point. So yeah, again, this one in particular you can find as an e-copy, but I can't speak on the rest of the series. And like I said, I think there was only 66 titles published in this, but I would like to hunt more of these ones out. And last but not least, the Silhouette Yours Truly. So this was Silhouette's answer to the Duets and the Flipside and the Love and Laughter. This was definitely very much a romantic comedy type series. This one is called Pop Goes the Question, and it's by Carla Cassidy. And I think she still writes for Harlequin. So yeah, you can look at that cover, you guys. I love it. I love it. So this was published from August of 1995 to April of 1999. And there were 90 titles published under this. So I'm going to have to hunt some more of these ones out as well. But just for my collection, like, these are a lot of fun. I mean, not all of these are going to be absolutely stellar, especially some of the older ones. You know, there's some questionable things in there in regards to probably consent in some things. And, you know, like, a lot of characters doing things that, you know, now might make some people cringe. But to have them in my collection, it makes me happy. So anyway, you guys, longer video. I am sorry about that, but I do hope that you guys enjoyed this and it was informative. Any comments or questions, please post them in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope you liked my little Halloween inspired video. I had a little bit of fun with my makeup in this one. When else do I get to wear purple lipstick, right? Although I quite really like it. Should I try this on a daily basis to the office? Not like it matters, we're all in masks anyway, right guys? So that's it for today. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. Happy Halloween. If you do get to go out trick-or-treating, please stay safe. If you're going to any parties, please stay safe. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.